the triple pepperoni or the white pizza pepperoni.
Which one would you like? I've had the pizza, it's awesome. So, do you remember?
They're very nice.
Well,
They're both pepperoni.
All right, we usually don't record this part because it gets really disgusting. It's pizza though.
What, are you eating?
Greg's not going to chew with his mouth open, he promised.
This time.
This time.
I have an agenda.
You have an
I know,
agenda?
but are we eating and working the agenda at the same
No,
time?
we'll
Can we
eat
handle
and then
it?
work the
Hey,
agenda.
what is this here again that we're drinking?
She brought you a frozen muscadine slushie.
Those things are killer.
It's really
All
good.
right. Hey, quick, give us a scoop on this muscadine slushy. What's the scoop on it? It's your slushy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay, tell us about it.
pure muscadine juice. No chemicals, no sugar. It's actually quite good for you. Duke did a study saying that it was an anti-COVID. We sold out. How's your pizza?
It's very nice. So where are you from? Down in Moore County?
Yes, sir. Moore
Okay.
County. How did you know?
Accent.
The accent, was it?
Yes, that's
He's
Moore.
not the brightest bulb in the box, is he?
No, that's definitely a Moore County accent. Anyway,
The land of the leprechauns.
yeah.
Well,
I didn't know they had those in Moore
We
County.
were actually talking about this last time I came by here because I come by heirloom tomatoes here. Heirloom tomato season's over, but you mentioned one of the things you like about living in America is you can do stuff here that you can do back home.
Like what?
Exactly.
Like
Living
what?
the dream. Living the dream.
What are you doing here that you couldn't do there?
Hang out.
I have a small rescue ranch for horses. You couldn't have that in Ireland. Property prices. You can work here and get ahead.
Right.
You can work your whole life in Ireland, unfortunately, and never get anywhere. You know, America's the land of opportunity and still is.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Well,
sold a house for a guy, an old farmhouse out in Silcope. He was from Ireland. He owned Hibernia.
Yeah.
And,
I know him. Born down. If that wasn't Jewish lightning, I don't know what was.
And he said, I told him what he could get for his farmhouse, and he's like, how can I get that much for it? And I was like, everybody wants an old farmhouse. He's like, this thing's 110 years old. And I was like, yeah, that's an old farmhouse. And he's like, I grew up in a house that was 550 years old.
Yeah, yeah. I grew up in the Victorian house, and you weren't even allowed to change the sash windows.
Wow.
And every day there'd be a Chinese tourist standing on the step taking pictures of the door.
well,
Did you play rugby?
I did have a go, but I'm too short. I'm not heavy enough. Them boys,
You're a scrum half or a hooker?
hooker.
See?
yeah.
I played for 30 years.
Did you do hurling?
Oh, I did hurl. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
that
an
was,
amazing
that,
sport.
that was great. Oh,
That's
that
an
was
amazing
great.
Especially after
You-
drinking.
If they put you in against a big lad, you know, and they would, knocking you about. We used to have a hurley, and we'd have black PVC tape, which was quite common,
Right.
and we'd get a couple of tacks, and we'd
Right.
put it on the back
Well-
through the back of the tape. You hit him on the ankles a few times with that, he'll leave you alone.
Well,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, public TV showed Irish hurling
Uh-huh.
and road bowling.
Uh-huh.
Road bowling is something we need to have in Chatham.
That'd be great.
That is a good sport.
Now-
I've seen that.
What is it for
You
people who
have to
don't
tell
know?
me if I've got this right. So, as best I can tell, they get a wagon and they fill it with alcohol, and then you have two teams.
That's very.
One,
I think you're doing stereotypes of the Irish.
I don't know. And then you got two teams, but this, and what they do is they have this heavy metal ball, and they throw it while traveling from one town to the other town, and whoever gets there in the fewest number of bowls wins.
Yeah.
And
you got it.
everyone's drunk.
Yeah.
That's what.
Well, that's again.
That's the sport.
I think that's racist.
I don't know.
But usually the driver
start.
tries to maintain,
start.
not to, otherwise you'd end up in the ditch.
Well, we used to watch that on public television,
Yeah.
and they would, like I said, it looked to us like they were just getting drunk and throwing this heavy metal ball to see who could throw it the fewest number of pitches.
I watched Irish hurling one time, and this guy, whacked a guy in the back of the neck with the club or the bat or whatever you call it. And I just remember watching the ref, and there was some hesitancy whether or not he was going to call it a penalty.
Well, best I
You
could
could get
tell
away
you,
with a lot of
That's right.
things.
He was just like, yeah, that's a penalty. And I was just like, I just couldn't believe that he hesitated.
I think in hurling you're allowed to hit the guy in the head with your stick, right?
Well, nowadays they sissy it. You know, they wear helmets and things like
Well,
that.
look
You
at,
know,
look
and
at
milk
American,
cards
look at
and-
American football and rugby. That's been sissified as well.
That big fuzzy
I don't
helmet.
think you're allowed to say sissified.
What?
I want white pizza.
Did we leave any for the ladies?
Yeah, they can grab some.
Oh, did they? All right.
No, you want one?
No, sir.
He can't eat that stuff
Why?
because he
It'll
has to
kill
maintain
you.
his girlish figure.
Yeah, boyish figure.
That too. You want another one?
In a minute, I got to finish what I got going.
You know what? This was actually not a bad choice. You're going full pepperoni on us.
I believe he makes a good pizza.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't live much, so it must be pretty darn good.
No, it's good.
Now, this fella won't eat his crusts. You'd be
No.
told in Ireland they'd be begging for crusts in Mountjoy prison.
Well,
Yep.
what's going to happen is I'm going to finish those, but it'll be the last thing I eat.
Oh, he's saving it for the big picture. Do you remember that? Save it for
Oh.
the big picture?
Your drooling pepperoni juice.
Oh man! See, that's
You got-
why we don't
you still
usually
got
record
more.
this.
There you go. So let's see.
Wait a minute. Wait. How long have you been in the States?
This trip, 25 years.
25 years.
But I came over when I was a kid. My brothers were all in New Jersey. I think they were working for Mr. Trump.
Huh.
That was a long time ago.
There's another guy in this town who used to work for Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they were working on the casinos.
Yeah,
builders.
He was restoring old American muscle cars for the Trump brothers. He's got all kind of pictures of him with the Trump guys. You know, in old 70s and 60s American muscle cars. It's really pretty cool pictures.
How long have you been in this location?
I think this is the 5th year.
I remember, and you were with the
Yeah, down the old Ford
old
place
old Ford place.
for 20 years.
I remember. I
Did they
bought.
kick you out?
No, they sold it to that Indian guy.
Okay.
He came and he said, I'm going to put a gas station here. And I said, don't do it. He said, oh, you just want to keep the... I said, nope, it won't work. Sure enough, he ended up having to sell it. I knew it wouldn't work there.
Which place are we talking about?
The refuel down on East Street.
Oh, yeah.
And I see Big Mike's barbecue has gone bust.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who weren't happy with their service or their food.
Well, what happened, you remember, the first month they were open, I went twice. And it was amazing.
It was good, but
Yeah, because
I mean-
Big Mike was there.
But right, and then all the guys who owned it. Now I'm just telling you the times I went in, and I could be totally wrong, but it seemed like after about a month you quit seeing them, and then you know you would go, and it was so expensive
120 is what I spent on lunch for 4 people. That's just strong for lunch in Pittsboro.
with no
120.
alcohol.
No alcohol, promise you,
Right.
not one.
But you know that was, you know, the money part was secondary to the. It just went from being the best barbecue place I'd ever eaten at. You know, well, not. I'll take that back.
You
It-
didn't mention that.
Yeah, unsay that. But a very good barbecue
No, I'm
place
good.
down to just not being very good.
I mean, back when I was poor and teaching and coaching, the best time of my life was when it was a Pizza Hut.
Oh yeah.
And all my
remember that.
players worked there, and they're like, Coach Andrews, and there'd be an
remember that.
extra pie or something. I mean, those were good times
Even
right
when
there.
my kids played rec ball, we used to go there after a game and stuff.
The lunch buffet, you go wear that
my
thing out
God.
before.
Well, they're talking about an Indian restaurant there now. That would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Speaking
it's,
of which, that convenience store, Indian food, have you ever
Oh
had
my
that?
God, yes.
They do a good job there.
If you
you
have
ever had
not
that?
been
you
to
know
the
what?
gas
When
station,
it cools down,
We ought to
maybe
do
we
that.
need to sit out.
Oh, yeah.
but
That's
not,
a little bit.
They don't have an
No,
umbrella.
they don't have the table anymore.
They got rid of it?
Tables, yeah. Too many people sitting begging.
Oh, okay.
You were getting harassed
In
walking in
Pittsboro.
and walking
In
out.
Pittsboro.
no, I mean
Have to take
that Indian food there is spectacular.
Well, I've tried twice to stop in there and catch when he delivers it, the guy who prepares the food, and I've missed them. But everything I've heard, including Cheryl, my wife, she loves that.
Their food is amazingly good. But we do need an Indian restaurant in this town. And we need a sushi restaurant in this town.
Yeah, you've been
Yes.
talking about sushi restaurant. Now, okay, can we talk about Matheson? Have you decided if you're going to do the?
We need an investor that has a couple $1 million.
No, I mean, in all honesty, no. We need somebody who wants to do something cool.
Right.
You know, because you're not. I mean, it'll break even for the first 5 or 10 years. But then after that, you know, it's more an investment for our kids than anything else. But we ran out of money.
I didn't say you ran out of money. I'm just
Well, I
saying,
did.
I'm saying that when you have something like that, you do need like a long-term investment. It's got to be cool, but it's a long-term investment because like when you have somebody like Havoc or Doherty's or any of the other people that we've gotten, they make a huge investment in making the property suit their needs,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're in it for the long haul. I mean, they got to have.
Well, you've turned it into a cool site to be in. I
Well,
mean, just think about what it was before. People.
But even after Greg turned it into a cool site, they still spent money to make it
cooler.
I mean,
cool for them.
Right.
Like, you know, I'm always pushing him vanilla box. But then, you know, Havoc had to do what they did. Doherty's had to do what they needed for to make it a Doherty's.
and Dylan made friggin'
Yeah,
mod
Dylan made it
killer.
the mod, you know?
Yeah. And
Right.
But all three of those bases they've done a good job with. And now, but the hospital, to refurbish the hospital is more by a third than the whole SoCo project was.
Well, maybe we need to go to the convenience store, get Indian food, and go climb up onto the roof of the Matheson Clinic
We
and
can
have
do-
lunch out there and show people what kind of view it is.
view.
Because I mean,
No, it's going to be amazing.
That's what, I mean, we had a lot of people look at the site that became Doherty's or whatever, but like one of the coolest things that ever happened is we go to the rooftop with the Doherty's guys, and first of all, the view's amazing up there, but secondly, like there was all these people in the street that recognized them being Doherty's people. They started screaming. I felt like I was in a YouTube video or something.
before we talk about the, before we continue with that, Red Moose is moving out, but someone else is coming in.
Yeah, a guy named Kevin Horton. I met, actually, I met with Shannon Plummer this morning at a meeting. He says he knows Kevin. He said Kevin wants to just make it a, you know, like a bar pour draft, pitcher,
Right.
you know, sports bar. I thought Danny did a great job or whatever, but, you know, it's tough to make that kind of enterprise work. He was doing, I guess, better with a fire truck than he was.
Well, he's keeping the fire truck.
Yeah,
He's not-
exactly.
That's
exactly.
not going away.
Right. So we wish them well. They were good to be in business with. Met with Kevin. I forget the lady's name that he has as the manager, but she has some bar experience, so I think that's going to be helpful to him. And I met with Kevin's mom too, and she's done like shopping centers in Cary or whatever. I think why's that so funny?
I met with his mommy too.
It's a family affair. It's just like Hoop's Pizza, mom,
Yes,
dad,
yeah.
and the son is. And you go to.
I mean, I think it's important that, like, you know, this is his first venture into the restaurant business, and she at least has some like real estate development.
I'm going hell for
experience.
laughing. Sorry.
Well, no, you're not. But
Or actually, maybe we go to get Indian food at the convenience store, come over and eat it in front of Kakalaki.
We
this,
do.
I don't think this is gonna pass the health department. I just gotta.
Don't
screw-
even-
it
don't
just
even
went
point that
through
out.
my pants. I need a tetanus shot.
Great. Now you're gonna get Noel busted for it. He probably found this
I got a
somewhere.
great Noel story. When he was like over at the other place, he had like 50 and 75 pound, maybe 50 and 60 pound pumpkins. I mean, they were just enormous pumpkins and everything. And I went and I had a huge Halloween party, and I went there the day before Halloween. And I'm like, how much are those? I forget. He's like, 75, 80 bucks, everything. I was like, I'll take 4 of them for 200. And he's like, boss. And I was like, buddy, these things are worthless tomorrow.
That's
Right.
right.
And he's like, and he looked at Penny and went, you kiss that mouse?
Yeah.
That's what he said. I wonder if he remembers that.
So how big are these 70-pound pumpkins? Oh, they're like the State Fair pumpkin then.
No, the state fair
they were
pumpkin-
as big as like the stack of 3. but
Right, that's what I
round.
figured.
Yeah,
Those
I mean, they
state
were
fair
hard to put.
pumpkins
They
are
were hard to
500
put.
pounds,
Are they?
1,000 pounds.
Yeah, I used to take pictures of the kids in front of the state fair pumpkin every year until they said, "Yeah, we're done. We're not doing that anymore."
All right, are we ready to hit the agenda? Because I'll get.
Yeah.
Let me restart.
Okay.
You're going to be able to get rid of the street noise?